welcome back to another episode of Pause, Sip, and Ponder. Happy Friday. I hope you guys had a wonderful week. If this is your first time, welcome, and this is a place where we just sit down, gather some of our deepest thoughts, talk about everything and anything with my guests, and it's also a place of encouragement, of love, inspiration, creativity, and we learn from one another, which is always great. If this is not your first time and you've been a loyal supporter since episode 1, welcome back, and thank you so much for your love and support that you guys give me. I'm so excited to say that Pause, Sip, and Ponder has been accepted into a total of 10 podcast platforms, which is awesome, considering that we're only on our 7th episode, which is great. So thank you so much for that. I really have learned so much from you guys, from, just learning the art of podcasting. And keep in mind, in this episode, I had actually recorded it back in January. Literally, the person you're about to hear is the second person I've met and recorded with. So you'll see the difference in how I speak and, the confidence level. And this is the time where I just learned about audio and recording and everything about podcasts. So even though this may be an older episode, or a session that I'm about to share with you guys, it's kind of cool to see the amount of growth that I've had within these past weeks. It's just amazing how much I've learned through it and developed through it. So yeah, I really consider this as a joy and a blessing to be able to share my thoughts and share my friends' thoughts with you guys. So yeah, and again, this is an older session, so I actually held it because I wanted to post it in February. You guys know that this is the month of love. Valentine's is coming up. But even with Valentine's, and not everybody has a significant other, which is fine. I think it's just I really wanted to push the theme of love and how we can spread and shed some love to anybody in any place, whoever it is, no matter where they come from. I think love conquers all hate, conquers all everything that's negative. No matter how much chaos is happening in this world, love will always conquer. But yeah, in this episode, I am speaking with my friend Aksara, someone I had met in school, and we talk about our dealings, our experiences, our journey through dating and relationships, and how we perceive love and what we think love is, and also our thoughts on how love and dating is portrayed in social media and in society today. So I hope you guys enjoy, sit back and relax. Relationship. Would you like to introduce yourself before we start?
Sure. Hey guys, my name's Aksara. I do have my own YouTube channel. It's very energetic, positive vibes, and sometimes I do something similar, like a podcast. I talk a lot, I guess. Sorry.
I talk a lot too.
But yeah, you guys should please subscribe to my channel. It's Aksara's World, Aksara World.
So what is your what motivated you to have a YouTube channel?
Ever since I was younger, I have always been family oriented, and then we always do memorable things, fun things, and I'm like, oh my gosh, we need to be recording this.
Yeah.
And that's really what got me going, and I'm a very opinionated and outspoken
then
person.
That's perfect for you today.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm very opinionated.
I'm opinionated, but I'm soft spoken. If you put me in a debate, I'm gonna lose right there.
Oh, no, I love those.
So where are you right now in your dating life? If you don't want to share, that's all good. I went pretty personal.
Yeah. Just hopped right in. But I'm fully single, 100%.
You guys hear that?
Not looking, focused on YouTube.
Okay.
I'm kidding. But I'm fully single, but I do keep in contact with my ex.
Okay.
We're actually very close.
That's good.
And we have been, if we had stayed together, January 15th would have been our 7th year.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
We got together at a very young age. He was 15, I was 17.
That's
yeah, he's
cute.
2 years younger than me.
That's cute.
Didn't even know when we first started talking.
Did you guys meet at school?
We met at a party, a house party.
Okay.
And he lied to me about his age.
Oh.
Yeah, I guess I answered your question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I think I mentioned it once. I am in a relationship. I will be hitting 2 years on the 13th
of January.
Aww. Yeah.
Congrats.
our stories, it's not that long. It's not that crazy. Well, it's kind of crazy to me. Basically, he is older than me.
Oh, nice.
He is 3 years older than me. He was actually my high school crush before. So
Wow.
yeah,
How exciting.
And we never really talked. I like maybe messaged him and like stalked him once, but it was like really weird and
What do you mean by
cringy.
stalking him?
Like I was like, cause okay, basically how I met him was through an event, like an Asian organization, and they had an open mic, and I had seen him because he performed and he sang, and I was like,
oh my gosh.
right there. But then I messaged him, and it was just kind of weird. And then years and years passed after that. And then we had mutual friends, and then he was actually a photographer. So.
Can I cut you off real quick? There's a quote that I just saw that you just reminded me of.
Oh.
It says, "Remember when you wanted what you currently have."
Aww,
Isn't that cute?
that is perfect.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're good. That's awesome. But yeah, and then we had a photo shoot together, and I had no intention. I was like, oh, that's the guy I used to like a long time ago. And then,
like years ago,
Yeah, years ago. Because I was kind of like still in middle school
Oh,
when
wow.
he was in high school. Yeah, so it was like that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had our photo shoot, and then we connected. I don't know. It was insane how much we had in common. And I don't act like most people my age, so that really helped him too. Yeah. So even if there's an age gap, it's like doesn't really matter, you know. So that's basically where I am.
I feel like my age gap did make a difference for me a little bit though.
Yeah,
Because the guy's
does, yeah.
younger, and
Right.
do you believe that guys mature a little slower than?
Yes.
Yeah.
My boyfriend always says how I'm a bit more mature than him even till now.
Yeah, so you can only imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, my ex was not completely mature. He's pretty mature for his age,
Yeah.
but there's
Yeah.
moments.
Yeah, I think for my relationship, it was definitely harder and more. For me, it wasn't a big deal, but for him, it was a big deal
Really?
because he's the guy and he was older, and I started dating him when I was 17, and he was already older than me, so he was like, I don't want to catch a case. But,
Yeah, that's.
yeah, but I think the only, I guess, challenge is that, I mean, it's not really major, but maybe like my friends are younger, so they don't really hang out with people older than them, and
Yeah.
I personally do, just because I connect more with people who are older, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But it's harder for him to like hang out, you know, with my friends.
Right,
So.
that makes sense. I believe I hang out with people my age or older
Yeah.
as well.
Oh, before we even go further, we are not experts on dating, so
Yeah, not at all.
So if you so happen to be like 50 years in your marriage and you're listening to this, and you're probably like rolling your eyes, it's all good. You know, we're just putting our opinions out there and just our experience. So, what do you think the appropriate time wait until actually committing yourself to a relationship, or does it depend? Like,
As in, like, when you should really be loyal to them and.
Because some people would be like, oh, it's too quick, like I can't do this very quickly, or some people
I don't think
like,
it's
no.
based on a time limit. I think it's more so the vibe and the connection.
That's very true. Yeah.
I don't really know. I don't like a time frame. That's hard to say. That's just weird. That's you trying to live by rules. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't think that's. And personally, I don't think that's the way to live.
Exactly.
Like you will feel it when you want to commit to the person, and life is about taking chances. So if you're ready to commit, you know, even if it doesn't work out, it's a learning experience.
Very
So
true.
I don't believe that there's a time limit. I believe it's how you feel.
Yeah, I think I met a lot of people who just thought of time and they missed out on the opportunity, you know? Like, you can really miss out on opportunities if you just let time go.
Yeah. But also, I don't think once you meet, like, I don't know, it depends how mature you are, or, like, you know, how old you are. Because I don't think you should just jump in and be like, oh my God, he's my boyfriend, not do anything for him. You know, when we're younger in middle school, like,
Yes.
those kinds of things, I think it was a little wild.
Yeah. Totally get it. Like, I guess we can start with like comparing how we treated relationships back then to like now.
Oh, do you have a preference? Or, like, do you have an opinion on how long? What do you think?
Well, for my current relationship, I had gotten out of one maybe 2 months before, and at the time I was like, it is kind of quick, just because I was still kind of thinking about the other guy at the time.
Okay, that's tricky.
So that's why it does depend on where you are and like how your feelings are. But also I felt that connection, so I went towards how much like I had a connection with this guy over, you know, the time and the matter of it. So yeah, I agree with you. So yeah, so back to how we view relationships before, like how we handled them to like now. How do you say you handle it over time? All of us, like when we were younger, we really thought we knew what love was. Like, you know what I mean? Or maybe we did it because we were pressured a lot because everyone had a boyfriend, or it could be...
You know, one thing about me, I remember in middle school, all my friends would have boyfriends and stuff. I'm not gonna lie, I had the biggest crush on someone. But I was never like, I really want to be his girlfriend. I literally just wanted to talk to him and hang out. I never really cared so much to have that title of a boyfriend. I was always just a goofy person that I think I didn't care to do relationship goals.
Yeah, right.
Which we're going to speak on that, right?
Yes.
Okay. The way that I think of course there's growth, but I think I'm the same. I'm still not pressed to have a boyfriend.
Right.
I do believe in love. I would love to have love, like true love one day, but other than that, I feel like some people want to have a boyfriend or a girlfriend just to say that they have one.
Yeah, or just to have the knowing that they have someone there.
Yeah.
For me, before, definitely I was very, like, I didn't know what really love was. I thought I did. And I'm still, you're fine. I'm still learning. I think we're all still learning about what love is, but definitely now, even though I'm still young, like, I have a good grasp of it. People will experience like heartbreak at a young age, and people experience different.
I definitely did.
Yeah.
I think my heartbreak was my biggest blessing. Like, I'm so happy that I got through it, and just the experience. It was a horrible heartbreak. How old was I? I think I was 19. And I don't know, it just makes me see that heartbreak that I had to get over. It just makes me view life so much more different.
Yeah.
In positive ways. Yeah. It was definitely a blessing. What is it called?
Blessing in disguise.
A blessing in disguise.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Yeah, I think in the moment we're just totally like devastated and like depressed, and that's the only thing we're focusing on, and then we have like no hope. Yeah. But after you go through, I guess, breakups, you learn that it happens for a reason, and you should really like evaluate the situation rather than being so hard on either yourself or just like resenting the person.
Because when I love hard. And I'll make excuses because I think I'm very sympathetic. So I don't want to commit to anyone else until I know, like, for sure. Yeah. I guess that's where it goes. You know, going back to your question, like, when do you know when to commit? I haven't felt that yet. So I'm just going to keep to myself, because truly, when you get in a relationship, you really do, no matter what anyone says, I feel like you do lose a lot of focus on yourself. Could you agree? The self-love that I have and grew for myself is just amazing, and I'm gonna hold on to that as long as I can, especially because I don't know who really has my back. You know what I mean?
I get that.
Like, only I know that I have my back, and that's 100%.
Yeah.
So I will always be there for myself, and I'm learning to enjoy my own company so that I never feel lonely.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I feel like a strong relationship is knowing and acknowledging that even though you're kind of like a bond and you're together, you're both individuals. Like, you're your own individual person. Like, I went through just a short break in my current relationship before, where we felt like you were just, you know, we weren't really focusing on ourselves, and that happens in relationships where you're just, and I wasn't prioritizing, you know, my family and school. So it really takes respect and understanding and communication to like really have that balance. Because some people will like completely be annoyed that like, oh, you don't have time for me anymore. But I really believe. Were you one of those, like, for girls? Me, no. It was more of me feeling bad for the other person, that I wasn't able to be with like that person so often. But same with my boyfriend. He was also busy, so it's kind of our busy schedules clashing. But we came to an understanding, and we learned that like if we held each other or like blamed the other person for not showing up or something like that, that's not going to do any good for us and together, because we're not growing, you know. I think a lot of people nowadays, they don't really focus on growing as together and as individuals, you know.
I feel like they try to I mean, not try, but I feel like people work against each other without even knowing it.
Yeah.
You know, like when you guys are in an argument, I think it's the pride. I think it's just a lot of misunderstanding with love as well. I think it depends how you see love, because a lot of people, when they love someone, they expect them to do some stuff for them.
Yeah.
For example, when do you say I love you? When he gets you the gift, when he does something for you. But so that's when you're like, I love you. You know, so you're loving him for the things that he's doing for you. But if you truly love somebody, you would want to nourish them and take care of them, sacrifice, you know, do all that's love. And if both ends are doing that, I think that's how a strong relationship will form.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are more about receiving
than giving. Oh, I totally agree with that. Like,
you know?
I always go by the thing where it's like, don't look for the one, be the one. Be the one for that person.
Right.
And then the person will do the same to you. So it's like you're working together.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I really agree with you when you said about self-love. That's definitely something I learned over time.
That's good.
Where really, like, if you don't love yourself, if you don't focus on yourself, like, what for? You know, it's like you're just hungry all the time for something that you know that can't truly satisfy you. Like, even if this person makes you happy in the moment, like, things are temporary, but one thing you'll always have is, like, you know, yourself.
Right. Exactly. Also, if you don't have that self-love, I feel like you don't know your worth. So how do you expect the other person to know your worth? You don't know how you want to be treated. You don't know your standards. Like, you're probably going by other people's standards, you know, like, not completely, but I just feel like if you don't know your worth, you don't know how you really want to be treated.
That's true.
You're just in a relationship just to be in a relationship, looking for love somewhere else.
Yeah.
But you need to love yourself first.
Yeah. For those, like, for the audience who don't really know how to practice self-love, what are some things that you do or practice?
That's a really great question. A lot of people have actually been asking me on my YouTube, like, how am I so confident? But I live by a lot of quotes, but I don't really know how to explain it. But what I do is, like, I just tell myself, like, if you don't have your back, who will? You know? Or are we talking about, like, appearance too for self-love?
Yeah, anything.
So for, like, my appearance, like, everybody says everyone's pretty in their own way, right? I believe that everybody's ugly in their own way. So even if you have a bad angle or whatever, or something you don't like about yourself, why are you stressing about it? Like, the next person is feeling the same exact way.
Yeah.
So who cares? Like, you know, you have a double chin. Like, this person doesn't like the way her legs look. You know, so it's like, but not to compare yourself with them, but just understand that there's gonna be something that you're not gonna like about yourself. You gotta learn to love it, because it's you, it's part of you. And it's like, if you don't love that, you're being kind of messed up to yourself.
Right.
Like, if you don't have that part of yourself, who will, for real? You know what I mean? And you gotta also know your worth. That's where self-love comes. You have to, like, you gotta know your value. I don't really know how to explain it. Do you have any?
Definitely.
Like, are you working on self-love as well? Like, how?
I got, like, a good grasp of it. And one of the things I learned in the process, that you got to sacrifice things that may not be beneficial to you. Like, it seems like it is, but it's not really helping you as a person.
Do you have an example?
Self-love, like, okay, for example, 2018 was a big transition for me because I was going to high school to college, and I was really trying to go to university. Like, I got scholarships.
Wow, that's great.
And then
I was never into school.
Hey, we got MC though. So
I know. You guys, please support us so we can not go to school.
No.
Oh,
that too. Right. Anyways, so yeah, I was in that big transition. I was so excited, and then my boyfriend was basically like, oh, you're gonna leave me, blah blah blah.
Your current boyfriend?
Yeah. Back then, yeah. And then I was kind of choosing between, you know, my career and, like, his desires, like, to be with me. And even though I did end up not going, it really taught me that, are you going to live your life pleasing other people, or are you going to do something for yourself? And it all worked out in the end.
Such a thin line.
Yeah, it's very hard to do that, because sometimes we live and we walk by just pleasing the people around us, not even just in our dating life, but like, you know, with our family and our friends.
And another quote that I saw is, it's not selfish to love yourself.
Yeah, that's what
it's
I'm
not,
trying to say. Yeah.
You know, there's a difference between selfish and a difference between loving yourself.
Yeah.
And going back to your boyfriend, you know, saying like you're gonna leave me and, you know, things like that. I think that goes back to, you have to have that strong trust.
Yeah. Exactly.
So that you don't hold each other back.
Yeah.
Because if that happens, maybe further down the line, someone will resent the next person.
That's true.
But I mean, he's not a horrible person for saying that. That's normal for anyone to feel that way.
Yeah.
But you just have to learn how to love each other.
Right.
So, you know, if you had a talk with him, like, he'll get it. He'll trust that you aren't going to leave him and things like that.
Yeah.
It's normal to feel that way. But that's what love is. Seeing the other person do well and do what's best for themselves.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what well, that problem is over now, but yeah, that's exactly how we took it and how we handled it. And yeah, our relationship is going strong because we really focus on us growing, because if we grow as individuals, just imagine like how many big things we can do together in the future.
I think that was my issue when I was in a relationship. He was so focused on treating me right, and I was so focused on being there for him. And we lost our individuality. And so it's like, what are we doing with our lives? Like, we're not good for each other. We're not growing. So I think that was a big part of why we ended as well. You know, to be in a relationship, you don't have to do those lovey-dovey romantic things all the time. I think
it's the little things sometimes, you know?
Like, life is hard itself. And that's why we need our partner to, you know, fall back on them when we're really going through it. Not just for those kisses and presents and things like that. And I think as you mature, that's what you learn to realize.
Definitely. Like, you can always hear like your parents or like people who have been married, like it's not like how it was before, but it becomes like more of a I don't know what they call it, kind of like a partnership. Like, it's like, it's not how it is before, but it's love in an unconditional way. Like, no matter. And I
completely believe in unconditional love.
Yeah, I don't think many people like really know what unconditional love is.
Right. I'm not gonna put all my business out there, but there's things that my ex has done to me that is unacceptable, and things that I've done that are unacceptable. But at the end of the day, I will always have love for him. Always. I might not always be in love with him, and say I find a new person in my life, out of respect for him, of course I would have to stop talking to my ex, but I will always have love for him. Like, if he ever really needed me, and that goes for anybody that I've ever loved, I will be there. Definitely. 100%.
Definitely. Now that the newer generation is coming, people expect so much, and a lot of what I see on social media is like, it's shown in a way where it's like, so I want to say like unrealistic. Like, people have these thoughts that it's supposed to be like this, like my relationship is supposed to be like this. It's just false. One of those. Yeah.
But I didn't do it purposely. I think you do that subliminally. Some people do it subliminally. Some people do it for clout or fame. I had so many rules on our relationship, and I don't know why. I don't know if I was stuck on movies or looking at other people around. But my ex would always explain to me, like, it doesn't have to be that way. And I would ask my brother, like, he did X, Y, and Z, or like, he didn't call me at this time. Is that okay? I would say stuff like that. And my brother would say, what do you mean? Like, is that okay with you? And I'm like, I don't know, because I don't know if it's supposed to be okay. And my brother would say, it's not about what's supposed to be okay. It's about what you want. It's not about how society is doing their relationship. And it actually took me a while to really learn about that. Like, I was really living by rules. Did you catch yourself doing that at all? Or trying to post cute pictures or anything?
Before I would post a lot, but then I realized, like, what am I doing it for? Like, it's just like trying to get people's attention, when rather I could just be really, I guess, in a way, like hyping up my boyfriend, you know, like without anyone seeing, like kind of like having integrity, like you do good to someone behind the curtains, like without anybody looking and staring at you. So I think I went through the same thing as well.
I think that it's social media that changed it as well, like more people are exposed, but I do think as the generation changed, the love has changed as well because of the music and you know, and
definitely
just heartbreaks happening more often, so people become more prideful maybe, and instead of you all admitting to loving each other, you just pretend that, you know, you don't really care about them to save face, so you don't get embarrassed or look stupid.
Like there's this one couple, you know, like he only posts pictures of his girlfriend, and not, I mean, of them together too, but like he just really kind of praises her in a way, not like in an idle way, but like, you know, he really appreciates her, and I really like that, how he does that, but not in a like, but not where it's like you're showing off
to
your
show
girl.
off.
Yeah, it's just basically,
you can tell it's genuine.
Yes, it's genuine. You can really tell the difference between posts where it's genuine or I was actually watching a video like on Instagram last night, and I was just like, oh my gosh, it was so cringy. Like basically it was just the guy like just grabbing her butt and just like looking at her in like a lustful way, and then you can tell by the girl's expression that she was like maybe they don't even act like that in front of the camera. Do you know what I mean? Like, why are you all over me like this? Like, why are you only paying attention to my, you know, my physical features?
Right.
Which is, not genuine at all.
YouTube relationship goals. Those. I don't like those. Or like people like fully making out on camera.
No, I know.
It's just like save some things for just you two. Like let it be personal and intimate.
So now we're going to talk about what do we desire in a guy. And I know that it's probably changed like over time. Like I had so much expectations before, but now it's more, you know, personality wise, you know.
Oh yeah. Mine definitely changed. Going back to saying like I never really cared to have a boyfriend. I never really looked like he has to look like this or that, or like I don't know, but I mean, when I was younger, I did go for looks, you know?
Yeah.
But now it's more so personality, characteristics.
Definitely.
Like, I would love for him to be ambitious. And one of the biggest thing that I need them to be is considerate. I think if you're considerate, you could be like a really good person all around.
Yeah.
Because any example, any scenario, anything, any situation you throw at me, if you're considerate to the next person, like you'll be good.
Right.
For example, cheating too. If you're considerate, if you're thinking about your girl, you wouldn't do it.
Exactly.
Or if you're hungry and she hasn't gotten to your house yet, and you're thinking of her, you wouldn't eat without her. So I just feel like
so sweet.
Yeah, I just feel like if you're considerate, it'll just get you really far.
Yeah. And I definitely like would acknowledge that, like that's a great thing to really notice in a guy.
Yeah.
For me, it's like the same thing. I really like guys who have, you know, ambitions, like you said, and have goals.
Yes.
Not really. I don't want like my boyfriend to just be following me around while I'm doing my thing and he's not doing anything, you know. Like for me and my boyfriend, I love hearing what he wants planned for this year, what are his goals, what does he want to really achieve, and that really helps me help him achieve those things, like whether it's through encouragement or I find resources for him, or, you know.
That's really nice of you.
So also honesty, you know.
Oh yeah, for sure. I love honesty, and all my friends, everyone close to me know that. Like, I need you to keep it as real as possible.
Right.
I'm a very real person, and even if it hurts, even if it's embarrassing, keep it real with me, and my bond will be that much tighter with you. Or even in relationships, since we're talking about relationships, if you're my best friend and I'm looking like an idiot, I don't care if it's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
Like, my best friend has told me so many hurtful things that I loved. I appreciate it so much because it got me through and it got me where I am today.
Definitely.
So,
like, it'll hurt, but they're only looking after you,
right.
you know. They're really seeking the better in you and just seeing you grow, which is a great thing.
And for the audience that are listening, I think you guys have to really pay attention to who's the one being honest with you.
Yeah.
If it's your mom, your best friend, your sister, your brother, whoever, why are you getting upset with them being honest? You know that their intentions are, pure, and like they just want what's best for you.
Unless they're just criticizing you
Yeah.
all the time, then obviously no.
But you don't think they're criticizing you because they want you to do better?
I think it really depends on how they say it in the situation.
That's true too, because well, for me, like if you have friends that keep saying like, girl, what are you wearing, things like that, that's not being honest. That's
like
just
constantly too, and just like, but definitely if you feel like you're really hurting and you're just kind of like surviving and just like pushing for the sake of the other person, you're gonna find yourself burnt out at the end.
Yeah.
So
I feel like everybody knows their own limits. Everybody has their own limits.
Yeah.
And once you can start answering your own questions, I think that's it. That's a wrap. Like, for example, what I mean is like, if he doesn't get what you're trying to say, like, he hurt you, right? And you're trying to explain it. And he does something similar, and you're trying to explain it again, and you're like, girl, why are you even trying? You already know what he's gonna say. Like that. At that point, this last breakup was the only time that I broke up with him, that I broke it off. Other than that, I believe in unconditional love. I didn't settle though. Like if he messed up, I would be like, you need to do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
But I didn't end the relationship. Now he really understands that there's such thing as unconditional love, and maybe he needed that for the next person.
For those who don't know what unconditional love is, basically it's loving someone
unconditionally.
Yeah. If you don't know what that means, it's like no matter what circumstances, no matter what situations, no matter the flaws they have, you'll still love them.
Yeah. But that doesn't mean like of course, you're accepting it if you're accepting them. I just don't want them to get confused. Like, that doesn't mean, like, if he cheats on you, you're like, it's okay. Like, I still love you. No, it's like, if he's really willing to change, and this is not if he cheats on you more than, like, multiple times. Like, at that point, it's not a mistake. But, if you guys are really trying to work through it, and you sincerely and genuinely feel like it was a mistake, and you stay with him, I think something like that is unconditional.
Some people like have to go through several, maybe a couple relationships to find out what real love is. Like, but for you only been in one, but still you've matured through that, and you still gained like a lot of experience from that. You'll never know what the future is like. Have you ever had those thoughts, or were you always set on that one person? Like, we don't know the future type of thing,
I was always set on that one person. I was 100% loyal, 100% committed.
Because a lot of people would be like, especially like
there's better out there? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, people will always say that, oh, you'll never know, like, maybe that person will move away, or like you'll find someone better, you'll never know. Which is like,
do you think if someone's thinking that, then that obviously means that person's not the one?
I think that's a factor, yeah, definitely.
But that's kind of hard to say, because honestly, knowing my self-worth now and my, like, how much value I have, I could honestly have found better. But that's not what it's about to me. Like, I want to love him. I want to help him get where he wants to be. I want to be that person. So I think that kind of goes back to, are you loving to receive, or are you loving to love?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So I never had those thoughts, and I think that's why I was heartbroken, to say the least.
Yeah.
I was a huge mess, like.
But I'm sure that person will really appreciate you, being there for him.
Absolutely.
Because not many will do that.
If I needed other people's approval too, that's just so much pressure on him as well. I think that's why right now we're actually really good friends. Yeah. He's pretty flip-floppy. He says that he'll never find anyone, like, he knows he'll never love anyone else the way he loves me. But then sometimes he'll say that you never know, like, there might be somebody out there for me, and then, like, better than you. Not saying that, he can find better, I guess, but maybe that will fit his puzzles better. I'm not sure exactly what he means, but I'm like, And the reason why he has to think that way is because he's not ready to be in a relationship. And I totally agree. He needs to focus on himself and get himself together.
Yeah.
He cannot focus on me, and I 100% support that.
Do you ever have the thought of, or the hope that you guys would be back together in the future? Or do you think having too much hope will, like, you know, not be good for you?
Actually, I don't believe I have that hope anymore. I don't believe I think about it anymore. And the reason why I say that is, if I had that hope, I don't think me and him could be friends. I would,
true.
you know what I mean?
True,
I would be like, why is he not working towards this? Why is he talking to other females? I don't know if he is. I'm sure he is.
Yeah.
It doesn't faze me.
Yeah.
But no, I don't. I'm over the hope. I'm more of, I'm just living wherever life will take me.
Exactly. Yeah.
I did used to have hope, you know, and I would like work towards getting the relationship back, but it's not like that. I'm literally just living for me and just being a friend to him.
Yeah. I think that's a great thing. Like, you know, taking one step at a time and just living and focusing on your priorities, but also, you know, him as being someone you really, in a way, prioritize, but not where it's like too much. And it really teaches you patience and, you know, understanding and love. Some people will take like complicated like situations badly and just like, you know, you'll never know what you'll gain from it, you know.
The thing is, I just know I'm like the furthest thing from perfect.
Right.
And who am I to judge him? And if somebody is telling you and showing you as well that they want to change or want to be a better person, I'm all for it. All for it.
Yeah.
And that's what I tell my family and my close friends, that even though I don't like your boyfriend or what he's doing, if he were to say like, look, I'm ready to be the man that you need me to be, like, all respect to him, you know, like I'm for it.
Yeah. One thing I really want to tell everyone is that before like judging someone else's relationship, like, they know their relationship more,
right?
You know, not you. Like, you can only give it one side perspective of it. You don't know what's going on in there in that relationship. So before judging others, you know, really take a step back and just consider like what they're really going through, you know.
Yeah. I say be there for them, hear them out, but always support them. Even if you don't agree that they should be in the relationship, it's not your life. You know, and if you really, like, if your best friend really loved you, she wouldn't stop talking to you or judge you because you're with that guy.
Right.
You know, I don't think that would be a true friend.
So before we close, we're gonna, I guess, give you guys some personal tips. Again, we're not professionals. These are just things from our experience.
Have your individuality. Is that a word?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Y'all can search it.
Right. The trust needs to be there. The communication, sacrifice, and being considerate.
Again, what you said, learn self-love before loving others.
Yes.
Also, this one is like, it can go both ways. Like, don't expect too much, meaning like you said, it's not about receiving, it's about giving.
Yes.
And if you guys both had that mindset, then, you know, it would really work out for that. Dating is a team effort, so it's not one-sided.
Any relationship.
Yeah, it's all together.
That's real quick, I feel or I don't know if you want to put this in there, but I feel like people forget that to be in a relationship is a full-time job. It's not part-time, it's full-time.
Yes.
And there's so much commitment, there's so much more to a relationship than what people
It's
think.
not like the song The Weekend where it's like you have him for the weekend and you give her on the weekdays.
Yeah.
Also, aim for growth. You know, it's really gonna grow and you guys are gonna learn a lot from each other if you have these goals. I think setting goals and like projects to do together, or like, you know, doing activities together, again, it can get very comfortable where you find yourself only at home, or, you know, you're just even in a room and you guys aren't really talking, you're just on your phone. So really take the time to do as much as you can together, and where like you're encouraging one another and like
how about really
fun.
appreciating the other person?
Yeah, not in a lustful way too. Like a very genuine way.
Yeah.
And and always balance in your priorities, balance in everything in your life, and really reflect with each other. Like, really, sometimes like periodically over a couple months, like me and my boyfriend would be like, okay, so how are we doing right now? What are the things that you don't like, or the things that you've seen that you like, you know, things like that. So meaning communication is very key.
I'm just very
keep it real. I think that's your keep it real.
Keep it real. I think I'm just
enjoy single life too.
I think
feel
okay,
like, you know?
So I feel like the next relationship I'm getting in, as in like there will be a title, it will be way better than my last relationship, because the self-love and the individuality and all that, like I'm really learning about myself and to love myself.
So that concludes our session today. It was really fun.
Yeah.
It was really fun.
I hope you guys enjoyed it and appreciated our opinion.
Yeah. If we offended anyone, we're sorry. If you guys, we'd love to hear your input and your opinions. To. Yeah. I'm going to leave my Instagram. That is pau.turla. That's pau.turla. That's the only social media at the moment and where I can get your guys' feedback, but also I can get recorded messages here on Anchor if you guys wanted to record your voice, and I could broadcast it here. And again, please follow my great friend on YouTube. What is
Aksara's World, AKSARA World, WORLD, or you can always hit me up on Instagram. It's call_me_Chloe, KHLOE. I love to engage and have conversations with people, so please feel free to hit me up.
Yeah, when I found out that she had a YouTube, like, I was full support.
She was so supportive. It was so sweet.
I'm always so supportive when there's people who have like goals and like really want to put their voice out there. I think that's a wonderful thing. So really go check out her stuff. It's really cute. And
this is so much fun.
Yeah, thank you.
Hopefully
for joining
we'll do it again.
Yeah, of course. And yeah, we'll see you guys next Friday, and remember to approach this weekend with curious minds, and always remember self-love.
Yes, thanks for listening.
But wait, don't leave just yet. I wanted to share some amazing responses I got on Instagram. I had asked the question, what is love to you? And these are their responses. From Alessandra, love is an intense feeling towards someone or something. From Alessa, it's what helps you grow. From Hung, fully accepting the person, receiving your love for who they are, strengths and flaws. From Shaq, unconditional. From Christian, sacrifice, just like when Jesus died on the cross. From Neeraj, the feeling of belonging with someone else, being a part of them, and vice versa. From JV, love is the importance and meaning of someone in your life. From Angel, family. From Elliot, if you have a flower and love it, you will water it and give it rich soil and make sure it is healthy. From Gil, my boyfriend, he put you. That's it. Thanks. From Gabe, he put oof. ... That's hard. Thank you guys so much for your responses. I really enjoyed reading them, and if I didn't read it, I'm so sorry. That means I had not read it in time for me to record this, but definitely I will record it and share it with you guys next episode. And I really love hearing your guys' responses like this. I'm going to do more of those, asking questions and reading them and putting them out there. So thank you guys, and I love y'all.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.